Well, another day in the land of the living, another day to do something good for our Creator. So today we're talking about aging and family values in the 21st century. It's an important topic, and we address it because it's out there. The times that we're living in, it's a different dispensation, and so many things are taking place. So we're having that conversation so that each and every one of us will understand what it's all about. I don't know what time Minister Muller is coming in, but hopefully she'll come in shortly. But let us talk about what the Bible says. In 1 Peter 5:5, it says, "Likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. Yea, all of you, be subject one to another, and be clothed with humility, for God resisteth the proud, and giveth grace to the humble." And that's the time we're living in. We have to remember that we are the children of the Most High God. We have to remember that we are all His creation, whether we're doing good, whether we're doing bad, whether we're doing ugly. It's important. So as we come today to talk about this issue, let us be reminded that each of us have a responsibility to the other one, the younger to the elder to the younger. And we have to be able to find family values in all of this. And I'm saying this to say, not from anybody's point of view, but my own point of view. As a parent, I look at things that my children do and how they speak to me at times. They go up and down. It's like running up and down the seesaw. 1 minute the seesaw is high up there, next minute it's right down to the bottom, So some days it's good and some days it's bad because they forget that you are the parent and they are the children. And not because we have children and we are grown that we have certain behaviors that we want to exhibit. And plain talk is really like the old people used to say. My grandmother used to say, plain talk is bad manners, but be plain about it. So they have to learn to treat one another well, because if you don't treat your siblings well and you don't treat your friends and out there well and your acquaintances well, it's exhibited in your behavior, your approach, your conversations, everything that you do. So based on that, we are looking at what the word said. In 1 Thessalonians 5:4, sorry, 1 Timothy 5:4, it says, "Rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father or mother, and the younger men as brethren, elder women as mothers, and young sisters with purity." The world has changed so much. We have gotten so much social ethics. People went to school and they studied this, and the church is not number one. The church is way down on the corporate ladder, so everything else matters. We all have a voice, yes, we do, because God gives us speech. And as we exercise it, it will tell where you're coming from, who you are. So therefore, today my prayer is that every single young person out there will have that opportunity in their life to really look in the mirror of life. Pay attention to Who's in front of you? You have to go back to the historical line. How is this person connected to me? That's me. Let me start from now back down to when I was born. And that's where when you answer those questions, you'll understand what your ethics should be. Because in this life, we do not compromise the good things of God. To incorporate whatever is being dished out. And this is not venting. I'm not venting. I'm just saying, in my case, I grew up in a home where I was given a lot of respect. A lot. And my grandmother used to say to me, regardless, you take it, you chew slowly on it, let it absorb in your system, and at some point in time, not long after, it will come to fruition. You know, we go to school, we go to work, we go and meet friends or colleagues from school, and we pick up all kinds of values, you know, and we have to look at the values that we pick up, you know. So as I get older, and older seniors like myself, and anyone is over who's over 50, starts thinking about aging and family values and how they look at you, how they express themselves to you. You find even from the smallest ones, because you know people do things by example. And little heirs here, teenage heirs here. We want everyone's lives to be really perfect according to God's plan, in line with everything that He says. So that as time goes by and you reach that age, you will understand. Because I have heard it over and over. If I had only taken the wisdom, if I had only listened a little more, things would be different. What did the Bible say? Train up a child in the way they should go, and they wouldn't depart from it. And sometimes they have it in them, but they're not utilizing it because there's something more enticing than you know the values you're giving them. So parents, pray for your children, even when they dislike you, even when they hate you. You gotta pray for them because they are yours. God gave you them for a purpose. And He says, when you have a problem with them, you know what you do? You say, Father, forgive them. I place them back into your capable hands. Because with time, you will mold them according to your will, because you give them purpose and you allow them to express themselves. But you remember, we all have to answer for the way we express ourselves. And what is nice and warm today may not be nice and warm down the road again. So we have to look back that today has tomorrows. And how are we acquiring our todays? How are we building our todays? Is it with love? Is it with grace? Is it with compassion? How are we building our todays? So it's important to build our todays right, so that we shining examples to the men and women that are around us, the children that are around us, our neighborhoods. And it's just not in the home alone. It flows out. You know, it's from the inside out. So it comes from inside and it goes all the way outside. Sometimes you get on the road and someone cut you off, road rage. It all stems from the inside out. So how are we looking at it? Are we building stress? Because there's no calm? Are we building bridges that can be broken down or will break down? It's like a car. You have to go so many miles and you need so much gas. But if you don't have enough gas for it, what will happen? The car will start to sputter down the road. You realize you need gas and you're there saying, that's the time we pray, whether we love God or not, even though we call back on the Father, because guess what? He created us, so we go, oh God, please let me reach to the gas station. Please, God. Please, just to the gas station. We use him conveniently because he's not in our face every day, per se, but he's in our heart, our spirit that we carry is from him. So we utilize him. And when I look at aging and family, sometimes, when you speak to people and they're having issues and you have to pray for them, it's based on a lot of these things, things that we're not sure that is happening. How do we get to the next level? How? I'm wondering. It's important and it's imperative that we find ourselves doing the things that are right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Good morning, Minister Murrell.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. So we're talking about aging and family values and, how things are going and understanding the fact that when we were created, we came for purpose and we came with a lot of values that are values from the Most High. And therefore, those values must follow us.
Yes.
It must follow us wherever we go. Our ethics, our behaviors, all of these things. And when I was reading from the Bible earlier on. I was looking at 1 Peter 5:5, and I did 1 Timothy 5:4. But there's a lot of things in the Word to help guide us with it. I'm not going to read them all out, but I know I can give you a few. Numbers 11:25 give us some teachings on values. So in your input, Minister Wood, aging and family values, because the family structure has broken down in so many places.
I think, Pastor Daphne, as a child of God, we first know that we have to bring up our children in the fear of God.
Yeah.
So I go to Proverbs 22:6 that said, train up a child
in the way
he should go, and when he's old, he will not depart. It's our responsibility as parents, and I always say this and mean it and practice it.
Yes.
Present and past tense. That is our responsibility as the parent to teach our children and to bring up and to train them up.
Yes, amen.
We don't I was thankful to be saved at 28, which meaning that my children were 3 and 1. So I was great. God was been good, but some people are older. So I brought up my children in the fear of God. One of the most important one was teaching them about the greatest commandment, which is to love one another.
Amen.
Right? Nowadays, and I always look at it like, if you have to love one another, how am I going to know how to love somebody if I cannot love myself?
All right.
So I always teach them the importance of loving yourself, taking good care of your own self. And the way you take care of yourself is the way you take care of others. So that was something that, this nowadays, it's all about having self-compassion, caring for oneself, so that you could care for others. The way, like, if I speak to you badly, we're talking about training up our children and the value system. So if my son speaks very badly to my daughter, I, as the parent, have to correct and tell him such things is not allowed.
Amen.
You learn to speak properly to your sister at all times. One of the things that a value that I was very strong on is knowing that your siblings, you're older, that does not give you the right to be a father figure. Your father figure when you have your own children.
That's right.
But you are a brother, and of such she is a sister. So siblings, love one another. Siblings have to learn respect. And nowadays there is something as boundaries, right? Respect comes with boundaries.
That's right.
Right? Children tend to, like, I have children, when my kids were small, they would just run in my door. And I would stop them and say, no, go right back out. What? No, I don't say the word knock. I said they were trained.
That's right.
I would tell them, what do you need to do? Close my door and do what is needed to be done. Right?
Yes.
Whether my door is a little open or not. It does not give you the right to enter without knocking on my door.
That's right.
That's my space. You have your space. Or boundaries to separate. You got to teach them all these things.
Yeah.
Responsibility. Why were you late for going to school? Why did you miss the bus? I leave late. The driver drive off on me. Right? Why did the driver drive off on you? She saw me coming. That's all excuses. You're not taking responsibility. You need to give me the reason why the bus driver really left. You need to take responsibility. I did not get there on time.
That's right.
So we teach them responsibility. Those are some of the stuff that, the children and their own integrity. Like your word is bond. Nowadays, I am going to do this for you. With sovereign God.
I know you hear it with your mouth, but you don't see the realities of it.
Why? What's the meaning of your integrity? We say your word.
Your word.
Like I said, your word. God is the word. Christ is the word. Right? Yes. Christ lives in us. And whatever comes out of our mouth.
It's important. It has to be right.
Yeah. And what do? Sister Merle, I'm going to meet you here. Like I tell my two children, do not say it unless you really mean it.
I mean it. Yeah, you have to mean what you say. Yes.
I mean, like, sometimes
it's not a tap that you turn on and off, right?
And then the other thing is this big thing nowadays, nobody know the meaning of telling the truth. They don't know honesty. What is wrong with honesty? All of these principles and values, we as parents have to show our children.
Yeah, we instill them.
Right? We practice it. Don't go telling them, Mommy's not home. and teaching our children to lie when we said, on the other hand, we want them to be honest.
But some children, if you tell them that, I remember having the house phone, and I personally said, did I get a call? No, somebody knocked on the door, and I said, here's what I said to my daughter. It was my son. I said, Abby, tell them I'm not home. So Abby goes to the door. My mommy says to tell you she is not home.
He was right.
And guess what? I never did that again.
Yeah, right.
Because
so
people do that.
Those are some of the stuff that we do.
Mm.
We teach, as far as I'm concerned, we teach our children a lot of lies.
To lie.
And then when our children come back telling us lies, we want to do them some badness.
Yeah.
No. Right?
We got to eradicate those things,
One of the things that I know as teaching values is that family time together.
Yes.
I always tell people, again, I was very thankful. I know I'm a Catholic growing up until I was 27. I was a Catholic girl. I know what it is to pray in the morning, and I know what it is to pray in the night.
Yes, and
so every time I know 5:30 on the morning, you got to go to your mother's side on the bed and down and pray. Then 7:30 at night, you go back and pray.
Oh, yeah.
So that was our family time. We also did homework together growing up, but we were all on one table.
Yep.
And we also ate together as a family.
Yep, that's important.
And those were things passed down. We went to church together as a family.
That's true.
Right? So those are stuff now that I instilled in my children. We do, I pray. I remember, even if I have to give them a consequence, I would spend that time praying, because I said, look, I don't have time to waste. So let's all pray now. Right?
Yes.
So we do a lot of family time, sitting, praying. We do a lot. When I had a lot of my kids in the home, we would do cooking and baking and all those things together. Ask me where I got the time. Like you said, I do plenty, but I don't know. It was always God that gave me the strength. So always praying and doing things with the family is important. I mean, like, I would sit in my car and sleep at times. I would take them to games, or say Canada Wonderland and something. We would always meet at the food time to eat and stuff, because I didn't go on the rides and all of that. But I'll sit in my car and sleep while they go on the rides. And then we meet. They come back to the van. We all eat and do stuff together. So, work it out like that. So now when I look at my own children, I see some of them. I have 2. And my daughter is just starting, but I see my son. The quality stuff that he does in teaching his children, strong family values, it is still there. I know it's hard. And now when we talk about family values and family, our family in North America or throughout the world now globally has so changed.
Yes.
It has so changed, right? However, the makeup of a family could be 2 men, 2 women, or just a single mother, yet still, family values remain the same.
The same. Yeah, that has not changed.
That has not changed.
Yeah.
And it goes down for generation. I always say, I'm blessed. Although my family were Catholics, I came down from a generation of strong women.
Yes.
Strong women that always prayed.
Amen.
My mother would tell me that Pa, which was her grandmother, she called her Pa always prayed for her.
Yes.
Right? When I go to the country, my grandma, which is my mom's mom, she would take us to church and pray with us.
Yeah.
And then when I had my own children, I didn't teach them to pray first. My mom taught them to
Nice.
pray. And even when they're eating, they never eat.
You gotta pray. You gotta give thanks for your
without
food.
giving God thanks, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I said it's twice we pray, but I forgot whenever you eat. So I would say in the restaurant, and my grandkids are praying in the restaurant. It's just like a habit. It became part of the norm.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
teaching values always come from us, the parents.
That's correct.
Right? We teach. Our home have to be the core.
Yes.
And I don't know.
That's the base for values.
Yeah. You see, I grew with a strong mother and a
Mm-hmm.
father that was supportive, but not as strong as my mother.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
My father did a lot. I always tell people that. But my mother is the core of the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, and I always see that and happening. So, you know, I always tell people I got 5 sisters.
Mm-hmm.
6, right? So I got 5 sisters. And if I send my kids to 3 of my sister homes,
Mm-hmm.
it would be as though they are in mine.
Mm-hmm.
Right? My fourth sister, she spoils. She just spoils all the kids.
Yeah.
Right? If the kids tell her, "Oh, I don't want to pray now," she said, "Okay." And if I'm there, I go, "Oh no, you don't." Right? But one of my sisters, she just let them have a free run of life. Like, no. But so I always say, like, just one that spoil all the kids and just spoil them.
Not that she doesn't know better, you know.
Oh, she does, but she just.
But that's her way.
It's just a way, you know.
She adopted that one.
She just gives them into, and she's the only house that you go that finds containers of candies and all the cookies.
Lord, yes.
When the kids come, they just love to go to her house. Yeah, but the values are, you know, that's just a spoiling part. But she still have very strong values of bringing up the children. Yeah, but yeah. So we pass on to our children. Yeah. And it just goes on, you know. Yeah. It's the family that does it. We do it.
It's up to them to take some of it and look at it, or you know, and work around it and put it their way, you know. But it's important.
Well, the honest one that my son said to me that he was going to do differently.
Yeah, until he's doing the same thing, right?
He did say, at first he said, "Oh, my kids have to come around to my way of lifestyle."
I didn't know what he forgot what his way was.
I didn't understand what he meant. And I just said, "Oh, well, God knows best." I didn't argue. I didn't understand it. I didn't ask, like, "What do you mean?" I just said, time will tell, right?
Yeah.
And when I look at how he goes around the clock, sit in the car sometimes for 2 hours with the kids in sports, just, you know, watching them. I said, who is around who now? Right?
Yeah, around whose way is it? You just watch the observance, you know, you observe what they do and realize, wait a minute.
They do the same that
while they're saying something to you, but they're not realizing that
God is in control of them.
That's right. That he is up there. The master's up there.
The values are
doing what he does best with us.
And the other one that we should always teach, you know, children is when they want something, like if they have a goal.
The goal, yes.
Right? Not just to give up because somebody say, "Oh, you're no good at that," but perseverance.
Yeah, it's, you know, it's funny you said that, because this morning Saya says he's going to school and he has to run. And they're making trophies, but it's not trophies to bring home, trophies for the class. So I guess it's probably picture trophies. And he says, "I don't know if I'm going to win." I said, "Well, you know what? You do your best." Then he brings his running shoes to show me, you know, how that it makes the shape of the foot, but it's like when you put the footprints on, you put the footprints, it doesn't bring out the whole foot as it is. He said, "See, look at this. I don't think this is the right shoe." I said, "That is okay. That is the way the shoe is made, and it's going to take you where you want to go, because it has that thing, and the space in between, like when you do an X-ray, So he said, I said, just run. You just run. Tell the Lord you want to run and you want to win, or come second or something. So he says, okay, Nana, put on the shoe, got himself together, and he's gone. So hopefully when he comes this afternoon, he'll have some results from his activity. God goes with him. Yeah.
Sometimes our children will fail something. They try, like let's just use something simple, opening a bottler, right? Spaghetti bottler. That's a challenge for them, Yes. And in their little hands, they really cannot do it. And, you open it for me. No, try and try again until you get open. Now, if you cannot try, your hands cannot open it. There are other ways. And you show them how to shake the bottler. And if their little hands still cannot open the bottler, there are devices. Then you show them the device. But, perseverance in whatever way in life. We fail an exam, like I failed an exam when my dad died. And I knew that I knew my work, but I just could not, I just couldn't write the exam. But if I had given up and didn't go back to school, if I didn't go back to school, I wouldn't have GC. And, the next time I went back to school, I didn't study because I knew my work. I just didn't write.
Yeah, you didn't you didn't go deep enough in your applications.
No, I just couldn't write nothing on my paper. I couldn't think.
Oh.
Nothing was coming to my head.
Wow.
Just the fact of seeing my father's face. So I just couldn't write that paper. But the next year, I went back to school, right? And I did pass. If I didn't pass and I come to Canada, I wouldn't have been able to get my grade 12. I don't know what I would have done, and stuff like that. So keep that perseverance. It's part of the value system when we giving values to our children. But first, we always remember Proverbs, what Proverbs teach us, to bring them up in the fear of God.
Fear of God, yes, most importantly. Train up a child the way they should go.
I remember my daughter-in-law came to me and questioned that part when I said that to her. And she questioned the fear of God, right? She had a lot about the fear of God, and I said that it's the only person that we need to fear. Yet, he's the only person that loves us unconditionally. I said the reason that we should fear him because he's the one that will take away our breath in 2 seconds.
Yes. Our breath belongs to him.
But he gives us so much love, so much kindness. And he's that awesome God. And, we don't fear him because he's going to beat us up and do this kind of stuff. That's not God.
No.
That fear is not an abusive fear. It's a loving fear. It's the fear of God is love for him. The reverence for him has nothing to do with abuse or anything.
And to remember at the beginning of time that, he breathed his breath into man.
Yeah. And, and that's what I shared with her. The fear of God, it's a beautiful thing.
Yep.
It's an awesomeness, right? You think of God's goodness and all that he do for us, right? It's it's a word that used there, but it's not a word that makes us scared.
That's right.
It's a word to beautify us.
It's that deep, unconditional respect, reverence, and
that awesomeness of
and
God.
when you look at a parent, when you look at your mom, your dad, your grandparents, you realize that you give them a portion of that. as
Yeah.
you're growing
Yeah.
up. So when you think of God and he's the one who give us that, that fear. And you could look at like my grandfather, he was very strict, and I'd say, even though you're strict, I love you so much, because it's the values that he's setting in me, the systems.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it's the same thing when I work in group homes and places. I was extremely, extremely strict.
Yeah.
But
you have to be strict.
The children just loved me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, my consequences were natural. I don't believe in wasting time, right? People would give children the child is very
rude. You can't sit in a corner. Sit in a corner.
The child is cursing. And people give them, write 100 lines. I wouldn't swear no more. But I'm not giving you them kind of lines.
No.
I want to know what you get out of cursing. I want to know that you could spell the word curse in the first place.
Yeah.
So my consequences, and some of them couldn't even spell the word curse. So they had to go and look in the dictionary and realize that using the F word and all of that, it is not a curse. One of them even found the F word in the dictionary and said, hey, it's a dictionary. And I go, You didn't realize it's right there in the dictionary. Yeah. So, again, teaching values, not just in our homes, but our workplaces. We had a prime examples of,
that's right,
setting proper boundaries and stuff at our workplaces.
Yes. You have to. You must have boundaries. You must have boundaries, because otherwise, it's like having a farm, and you have no gates, you have no borders for the cows, and you have to go how many miles to find them and ask everybody along the way, did you see my cow? Well, what does it look like?
It's like putting a mint plant. If you when we started gardening,
yes,
right, and we didn't know about gardening, and this is like over 40 something years ago, right? We didn't know. We knew like my grandpa and all of them are gardeners, but we know nothing about gardening, right?
no.
We ate the produce and everything, but our little hands was just too good. And we would, we know about mint, so we want to put mint in the garden. So you just plant a mint plant in your garden
and watch it grow. It's like my mango tree.
And then the mint plant will take over your entire grass.
And I didn't realize that, I said, why is it growing so fast?
Garden, right? And there was another green and white plant, I forgot the name of it. It will take over the entire place. So, you know that everything have to have boundaries. So, to put a mint plant in a container and contain it. And don't have it ruling the whole garden, So
I couldn't get over how it grew. Because I did a planter, the planter pots, the long ones.
Yeah.
And I put it in one corner, but I didn't realize it was going to create. I'm like, now how did you get over here?
It took the whole pot. It took the whole pot over. It needs its own place. Like,
yes,
if you find a nice trunk,
yeah.
And you put that in a nice trunk, it have a lot of space in a trunk, right?
Yeah.
And you put that there like a bathtub, like the old
old tub. Yes. The footed one. The footed one. Yes.
Or the hard concrete ones, right?
Right.
The old double thing they used to use in the laundry room long time. You put your plants in those things, right?
And they grow.
Oh yeah, you put them in your garden. And don't even let them grow too long so they get into the grass, right? Otherwise,
they do. Oh, I didn't realize that. Oh, that's true. Probably, yes. And the next thing you have them next summer in the grass coming up and say, wait, we've got mint over here too,
Yeah, even in the gardens, you have to contain things and, have to have boundaries and everything. Yeah.
You're right. That's true. It's, we don't think about these things, but, when you look at nature has so many boundaries.
It does.
God plants certain trees at the trunk. You can't pass those.
Everything. And even It's
I
so
was like,
funny, Pastor, that
wow, you know, like I
we
paid
think of
attention to it.
even how the animals are fed.
Uh-huh.
Not every animal in the wild uh
Eat in the same
meat,
place either.
are meat eaters.
Yeah.
You know, some eat flesh, some eat vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
We think of some of the birds in the air that will swoop down in the water and grab a fish, a bird
I
in the
know,
air,
and go.
and
That's
go
you know
down.
what? You know, you talking about it now, and it just dawned on me that they were vegan. They weren't meat eaters. They were just fish,
They will eat fish. They'll go down and get the fish
and they won't
from
eat
the
meat.
air,
Mm-hmm.
from the air.
Scoop down.
Swoop right down, and they know where the fish is and
They've
get the
seen
fish,
them. They
right?
actually seen them.
Yeah,
They know where they come together and how to grab them. And wow.
yeah. You know, everything. God has
Even when
put
you
the
look at pelicans and they dive in, and you keep asking, what are they going down there for?
fish.
And they know what they come up. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
you know, God is so amazing. He is such an
Mhm.
amazing God. Like his creation is big, and we haven't really taken. A lot of people haven't even taken the time to stop and see the wonders of creation. Because there's so many wonderful things about creation. I remember when my kids were younger, we went up to Algonquin Park in Ontario here, and they were snapping turtles. We didn't know. And by throwing, I think, a stick in there, then we realized what, so that you know you can't even put your finger there because they will bite you.
Yeah.
So it's nice for all the discoveries, you know, like I like when they go to places like Wonderland, and you know they have all the fishes that they have there, the goldfish and the ponds that they create, and then you see all the different algae and other things that come together. It's an amazing God. This is why, you know, he gave everyone his respective place, you know.
Exactly.
Um,
You know.
and his and our boundaries, you know, as far as we have to go. And you know, when we cross those boundaries, it's then our Father takes on his fathership, you
Mhm.
know. And he allows, you know, things to happen so that so we can be able to answer to him.
Exactly.
Yeah, because this is how it happens. If he didn't do that, then how would we have our judgment, you know? It's all the different things he put, you know, in place with us is it's that's important. So we
But
give him thanks for. Go ahead.
you also had another part, I think you said about aging.
Yeah, when you talk about aging, when we talk about, you know, the aging
What do you
and
mean?
how do we aging and family values. So how do we look at aging within the family? You know, how do we put aging, our, you know, the grandparents, the great grandparents, um, the values? How do we value them as we go?
As a grandparent,
Oh, a great grandparent, you know, how do we value, you know, how do we value grandparents and great grandparents? You know, we have great aunts and great uncles and uncles.
unfortunately, have, I have an elder sister that's like 86. So all
Hmm.
she is actually the oldest in the family
Hmm.
now,
Hmm.
which is my older sister.
Hmm.
So I do not have any of the aunts and the uncles. All of them have gone home already to be with their father
Oh,
in heaven. So I
I
just
think,
have an
yeah.
older sister that's still there.
Hmm.
Yeah, I just have my older sister.
Mm. I have Uncle Joshy and a couple others, you know, just that's about it. Uncle Joshy is, and one more. Another Uncle Winston. I
Yeah.
have a cousin Winston and an Uncle Winston. That's out
So all
there.
we have older is just older uncles.
Yeah.
I have no older uncles. It's just cousins.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have cousins that's also 80. But
Yeah.
my sister,
Mm-hmm.
everybody in her age bracket have already died.
Mm-hmm.
But she is like 86.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But with her, she's never been married or anything. But she always take care of us, talk to us, always encourage everybody.
Yeah.
You know, many people.
She's a counselor in the family. She's sort of.
Wow. Be careful. I didn't say so. You did.
No, what I'm saying, she gives a lot of counseling. Okay.
She does. She does.
Yeah.
That's if we take it though.
Well, yes, you can counsel someone. They don't have to take it because you know, that's how it is. You in this life, you counsel children, and either they take up what you say or they just leave it behind, and stand their own consequences based on what you said,
But she is the sister that gives you everything, she gives you. When I said give you, she really, like, she already, I know
she's a giver. She's a
she
giver.
is. I mean,
Yes.
like, she helped me with my children in university when you have to pay US money.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
She's given us like so much jewelry and stuff. Like she makes sure she gives you what she wants in advance.
Yeah. She's not leaving. She's not leaving up to anyone else to distribute it.
No. Ever so
and
often,
I don't blame her.
Ever so
I don't
often
blame her.
Said, "Oh, I'm going to disperse of some of my jewelries." Or at one time, she'll come and tell us about all the fur coats that she has. And it will directly go for this one because she was very small and petite, right? So she knows exactly who in the family it will fit. So it has skipped my generation and
that's funny.
The younger ones, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so stuff like that. They have clothes when everybody was very small. They kept all these things because they were good quality, and all the nice shoes. And you would think that some shoes have lost its value, but those shoes that she have when she was in
they're
Europe,
coming back. A lot of them are repeating right now.
But what I'm saying is the shoes that she got from, like, in Europe, the European shoes, those things are still intact.
Yeah, they look brand new.
They look brand new. They're able to wear, and some of the dresses from England and stuff, she kept them in in that cedar trunk and stuff. And those things are good to go for not my generation, as I said, but the ones below.
Yeah, and they are coming back in style, and the price you would not be able to afford them.
And they call it vintage.
Vintage. Yeah, it's coming back. That's coming in. That's what's happening now. But you can't afford vintage.
So they're able to get those clothes and stuff, but she kept them good, So the stuff like that, the older ones, and people do respect her.
Nice. Yeah.
All the nephews and nieces, everybody respect her, and just the siblings, we always have our issues. But
well, hey, that's life. That's life.
But the nieces and
in this life, we all, if the children that are just born and could talk and just started school have issues, much more us who are adults and seniors and grown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you expect all in every cycle issues that are going on 24/7. That's why I said to them, I keep myself. I say, keep my prayer inside of me, so that as the days go by, I tune out and I tune inside.
Because it's this thing when we grew up.
Yep.
Always have to respect your elders.
Well, yeah, that's true. And I grew up that way. I don't know, what people want to do nowadays, but that's as far as I'm concerned, I know there is judgment on it.
But we always,
It
so
is
that's the
written,
thing.
and we've all broken that rule.
And that's the thing with us, is because she's
But
the eldest sister.
what are we able to say? We always ask for forgiveness.
No, because she's the eldest sister, we all have to respect her. So where you want to open your mouth
Total
and say,
respect. Yes, yes.
you have to hand that respect down.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't usually challenge her. We just go, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I know. You know what is funny?
We don't challenge her. I don't
You
think
say that my grandmother says you do not challenge an elder. And
yeah, you don't challenge.
You just brought it back to me, because she used to say, Daphne, we never challenged the elders. I never challenged my mother. I never challenged my grandmother, my great aunts, my aunts, those that I knew. You can't. It is wrong. Do not challenge them.
You say it's wrong, but Pastor Daphne,
but
I'm the one that has. I'm not a troublemaker, but I love to ask why. So people call me rude and
obnoxious. When you ask that question,
I have been rude and obnoxious from young. You have to respect your teachers, but I ask the question.
Always ask why. Yeah,
I do, because I'm always the one that's, oh, she's so rude. She has no respect. I do have respect, but I don't understand why you think it should be your way or the highway.
Exactly. And if you and they need to explain why,
No, but you have to be they never explained why. We just had to take their word as gospel.
At the time, yes.
Unfortunately, some of us didn't.
Well, the kids nowadays don't do that. You say, well, listen, your behavior is not good. I say, well, I don't care. It's the way. But we just pray for them, because God is going to teach them.
Well, I doubt very much.
Send them up to the throne.
Speak to my grandchildren, and they would tell me that they don't care. Because if they speak to me like that, I might come up like a ton of bricks. And I don't think anybody wants a ton of bricks from me. So yeah. If my grandkids ever try me, first, I would make sure I let them know, I am calling your mother. I am calling your father. Those are the people I call first. No, my grandkids know. If they don't reach to that point with me to say, I don't care. What they might do is, like, if they have chores to do, try to get away from doing the chores, right? So which means I would have to speak like 5 times when their father or mother would speak once, right?
Yeah. Oh, yes.
So by the time I reach to my boiling point, I said, okay, let me take up the phone and give your mother or your father a call. No, grandma. No, grandma.
And they don't want that,
you see?
Right? Because
so that's
their
always
mom,
my thing.
Especially when you have a mom who is going to take action.
And a father. Yes. So I call both. Yeah. I'm calling your mother and your father.
And father, both of them would just jump in there.
When I was in Florida, my grandson said, you don't know my number, my mom's number. I said, little boy, let me tell you a little story about me and math. Numbers is my best friend. And I recited the number for him. He said, Grandma, how you know that? I said, who taught you your mom's number?
His eyes must have popped open so wide.
If I teach him the mom number, is the mom number going to leave from my head?
Not at all. Once it's embedded, that's the end of it. It stays right there. Yeah.
But Grandma, you're going to call 2 parents? I said, yes. And if 2 parents have to pull out the belt, the 2 will pull it out.
All right. That's up to them. Justice is served.
Yes. That's it for, I don't like to consequence my grandkids. I think it's up to the parents to be doing.
Yes, definitely. Well, that's how it is. But anyway, we had a great segment this morning talking about aging and family values in the 21st century. And I hope you enjoyed it, because we have to talk about all these little things, you know, and we're almost near to Thanksgiving, so we give God thanks for you, the viewers. We give God thanks for your homes and pray that everything that you require for Thanksgiving coming up, that you will receive according to the treasuries and his bounty for you. Minister Merle, thank you so much for being here with me. You know,
You're
we have
welcome.
our thing going. Thank you,
Happy
Jonathan.
Thanksgiving to everybody. Have a great
Yes.
Thanksgiving with you. I know this is the time that friends and family, we couldn't do it during COVID, but during now, everybody enjoyed the turkey and the hams and all them sweet, nice potatoes and all the different things.
Yes, 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 yes.
Somebody told me yesterday she was making cassava pudding and potato pudding. I was like, oh my God, I'm coming to your house.
Yeah. You gotta check out the houses to see who's got the things that you like and get over there.
Yeah.
So
everybody
anyway,
a great and a happy Thanksgiving.
Yes. So have a great Thanksgiving, everyone. Bye for now. Enjoy the day and the rest of the week. God blessing. Bye-bye.